For today, in the name of freedom, we take the battle to them.
Ladies and gentlemen, oh my god, I have just finished watching Fant4stic, Fantastic Four from 2015. This was the only Fantastic Four movie that I have not seen, and I was like, oh my god, I'll watch it tomorrow, I'll watch it tomorrow, I'll watch it tomorrow, and this went on for like 3 days. And yeah, it was like 1 a.m. maybe, and I was like, you know what? Let me watch this thing. Because normally with the movies that people say suck, I always get like some sort of guilty pleasure out of it. You know, it's usually so bad that it's good. You know, like Seed of Chucky. That movie is absolute garbage, but you can't help but laugh at how stupid it is. Then that's what I thought Fantastic Four was going to be, and my god, this was like the worst possible execution of a Fantastic Four storyline that they could probably have done. Now, look, I'm not gonna sit here and act like I've been a Fantastic Four fan for so long. You know, I really only started caring about them when I watched the 2005 movie last year, because I quite like that movie, honestly. I think the Rise of Silver Surfer was way better, but I really liked the first movie. And I loved the execution of each of their powers, you know, mainly how they all discovered each of their powers. I thought it was great. But this movie, holy shit. First of all, let me just get the biggest complaint out of the way. This movie is 1 hour and 41 minutes long. There's 55 minutes left of the movie by the time they get their fucking powers. 55 minutes! 55 minutes! What are you on about? What the fuck is that? Look, right. The 2005 movie, I don't know exactly how long it took for them to get their powers, but the thing is, that movie was actually entertaining between like the beginning and the time they get their powers. So it didn't feel like a drag there. Here, I just spent the whole time going, oh my god, when are they gonna get their damn powers? Jeez. But before I start complain the down spiral of the complaining, let me just talk about the cast immediately. So Miles Teller as Reed Richards. I think that the casting for this movie was interesting, but it's more so the writing. These guys are meant to be like, what, 15? Are you fucking mad? The guy that plays Ben looks like he's a damn 40-year-old. He looks like he has 2 kids. And I understand movies used to do this a lot in the 2000s, you know, mainly Spider-Man, you know, obviously gets made fun of for a lot for that, where we used to cast like 30-year-olds to play high schoolers. This is 2015, man. What are you doing? Casting these people to be 15 and 16-year-olds. Oh my god. Look, I mean, for what he's given, Miles Teller does an alright job. Yeah, that's pretty much it. Michael B. Jordan doesn't really get a whole lot to do. He's nowhere near as charismatic as the Chris Evans version, which I won't just be comparing them to the original versions, don't worry. But just as his own version, I did not really like this version of Human Torch. It's also just really strange seeing Michael B. Jordan with like no facial hair. It doesn't look right to me. It looks like a weird CGI de-aged version of him, which it's weird, but that's not really the movie's fault. Sue, she just existed. Yeah, pretty much. She didn't really contribute much to the plot. And yeah, there was that. Ben, I've already said, like, as far as the character goes, he's just kind of crappy, you know, and especially the voice that they give the Thing, I think is just terrible. He just sounds like a normal person talking. You know, at least with the newer one, you know, the one that we'll see in less than a week. At least with him, that voice, yes, it sounds like a normal person talking, but it matches his design. Here, this thing looks like he's meant to have this deep voice. Oh my god. And oh my god, Doctor Doom. Holy shit. You have Toby Kebbell playing Doctor Doom. This man is Koba from Dawn of the Planet of the Apes. Such an amazing character, amazing actor. He was in Kong Skull Island. He played himself and he played Kong in some scenes. Oh my god, and they just wasted him in this movie. Holy shit. And again, he's a good actor. He's a great actor because, in obviously the Planet of the Apes franchise, they are covered with oh shit, I forgot what the technology is called. Motion capture. Motion capture. You have obviously a layer of it's not even a human, it's an ape face, and he is still able to act so well. And you cast him as Victor Von Doom. Firstly, I saw him and I was like, that does not look like what I imagine Victor Von Doom to look like. I think that Julian McMahon, rest in peace, was fantastic as Victor Von Doom. As obviously Doctor Doom himself, I don't think he quite had the voice for it. I think that he needed a deeper voice. But as far as Victor himself, I loved it. Loved it. Here, what is going on? It's like the weirdest introduction to this character. Of like he's just like in this weird sort of I can't even call it an apartment. This room that he lives in. He's got long hair and everything. It's just so strange, and they don't even flat out confirm or anything or have him try anything with Sue, because they obviously hint at a history, or not a successful history. Obviously, it's mainly just one-sided, but the only thing that he does throughout the movie to sort of hit on Sue is calling Reed and being like, "You're being unprofessional." But yeah, I just don't understand how you cast this man in this movie. And obviously, again, as I said, as great of an actor as he is not the person to cast for Doctor Doom. So yeah, they just really fumbled it with this dude. And while on the topic of Doctor Doom, that design, what the fuck, man? Doctor Doom has such a, obviously it's iconic, but it is, generally such a simple design. How do these movies not get it right? Okay, the OG Fantastic Four movie, fair. There he looked good. Yeah, what the fuck is this thing? Like, we see Victor in the first part of the movie, and then when they go get their powers, he supposedly dies. Obviously, we know he's not dead, but he vanishes, and then when there's 25 minutes left of the movie, he pops back up and is this weird his suit has fused with his skin, and it's so bad. It's horrific. And on top of that, something quite funny is the first official look that we had of the leader in Captain America Brave New World. It was that shot of him in the dark, just before he turns the lights on in the lab. And all you see are his green eyes. And even though I hadn't seen the movie, many people, myself included, were going, he looks a lot like Doctor Doom from the 2015 Fantastic Four movie. And then you watch this movie and Tim Blake Nelson is here. he's like the secondary antagonist, sort of. And I will admit, his death scene was fucking awesome. It was so cool. If only Marvel would push the boundaries like this in their movies nowadays. That is so cool. Doctor Doom sort of I don't know, sizzled his skin. He sort of just started burning up, and then his head just exploded. Oh my god, that is such an awesome kill. Oh my god, that is so awesome. But yeah, Doctor Doom's powers, while we're on the topic of him, I think is the only thing about this movie that I can say is positive about it. This is the only thing as well that I would say it did better than the 2005 Fantastic Four movie. Now, in that movie, you could say Doctor Doom is more powerful because while he doesn't possess as much power as this one, they do more with him. You know, they show him to be more powerful. Here, he clearly is more powerful. It's just they really underutilize him. So you don't get to experience the full caliber of what he's capable of. So it does sort of suck. But power wise, he is better than the old Doctor Doom. But that is it. That is literally the only positive I can give this movie. Oh my god, it was just horrific. And don't even get me started on the on the nose things like earlier when Victor is talking about humanity, which by the way I 100% agree with Victor. I've been saying this for a very long time, and people always called me cuckoos when I agreed with Emma Russell in Godzilla King of the Monsters. Victor is like, why should we try to save the future of humanity when humanity is we've destroyed this planet? Why should we bother saving the future? And Sue goes, "Oh, you're Doctor Doom over here." My God, this was just so awful. Come to think of it, I don't really think any of these actors were fit for these roles. Like, no offense to any of them, but man, they just don't fit these roles. Like the age thing aside, I don't know. It just doesn't work. As much as even like Michael B. Jordan, who is really, I mean, I don't think I've seen Miles Teller in anything else, but I don't know who Sue is, and I don't know who the guy that plays the Thing is. So Michael B. Jordan is the only one there that I know. And even him as the Human Torch, I just don't really care for. And I would just like to take this moment to just, reiterate the glow up that Michael B. Jordan has had. Because looking at him in this movie looks so weird. He literally looks like a CGI DH version of himself. Whereas you look at him 10 years down the line with Sinners, and he is like one of the sexiest men ever. look, I'm a straight guy, but Michael B. Jordan, holy fuck, he looks good in that movie. Even Creed, Creed came out the same year as this Fantastic Four, and even there, I think it's just because of the facial hair. He just looks so much better. I don't know what it is with this movie. He was like, you know what? This movie doesn't deserve my facial hair. Just shave it off. But yeah, like the casting aside, the one thing that I think is just so horrific with this movie is the color grading. Oh my god. The saturation is on like 2%. It is basically a black and white movie. It is so gray and drab and bland. It just looks dead. It looks like Optimus Prime in the 86 movie. It just completely devoid of any color. And it just looks terrible. This is one of the ugliest comic book. Actually, I think this is the ugliest comic book movie I have ever seen. Because, like, even the movies like Ant-Man and the Wasp Quantumania, which, obviously there's green screen and stuff, or maybe even movies with, like, terrible CGI. They're at least trying, they're trying. Here, it's just so boring to look at. It's boring to look at. It's boring to sit through because the script is so freaking terrible. It's just an awful movie. I don't think that there's anybody in this world who has this as their favorite Fantastic Four. I don't understand. I'm sorry. Unless you're like me, with Transformers Age of Extinction, where it's a movie that like everyone hates, but for some reason it really connected with you as a child. In that case, I can understand. But man, this movie just sucks. But obviously, come on, the best part of the movie, the part that I think, like anyone who watches this movie in recent times just waits for this bit, and that is that ending, because it has been memed to death, especially in the year 2025, because obviously we're getting a new Fantastic Four movie. Oh my god, it has been all over the fucking place of the. Say that again? But the way the scene plays out is so funny. And it's not intentional. It is genuinely just horrific script writing. Is Ben goes, it's fantastic. Yeah, he's like, I gotta say, it's fantastic. And the turn, Reed turning his face towards him. And he's like, say that again. And Ben goes, it's fantastic. And Reed just turns and looks at Johnny and Sue, and he's like, guys, I got it. You ready? And then the title card pops up. And it's even worse when you take in the conversation they had a couple seconds before this, when I think it was Johnny that said, like I said, I look at Michael B. Jordan, I cannot imagine him being named Johnny. But I think he says, there's four of us. So there's four, and he like starts coming up with all these weird names, and then obviously Reed comes up with that. But what I think is hilarious, right, is I didn't know that Sue and Johnny's father is actually a character in the comics, and his name is Franklin. And I was watching the movie and I was like, wait a second, why have they named the father Franklin? Because even though I only started, getting invested in the Fantastic Four like last year, um, I obviously know that Franklin Richards is, the Richards son. So I was like, why have they named a father that? But then I googled and I was like, oh shit, they, the his name in the comics is actually Franklin. So I was like imagining, imagine if in the sequel, the movie ends with Sue giving birth. They're all in the hospital. Hospital. Oh my god, they're all in the hospital. Fucking hell. Stuttering voice cracks. Why? Just let me say the fucking the story. Imagine they are all in the hospital after Sue gives birth, and she's like, what should we name him? And they'll go, oh, I don't know. And then Ben just looks at her and he's like, you know, Franklin would be proud. And then Reed just turns to him and he's like, say that again. And then Ben goes, I said Franklin would be proud. And Reed would turn to Sue and be like, Sue, I got it. Why am I dying laughing at this? Oh my god, it is so dumb. Oh my fucking god. But yeah. Whew. Look, man, I did not expect this movie to be this bad. I know it's been clowned on for the last 10 years, but man, I thought that I would at least find some things to enjoy in it. But my god, this is just terrible. Oh lord. I think that honestly, even the Doctor Doom power thing aside, the 2005 Fantastic Four movie is better than this in every single way. It is gorgeous. It has a great cast. The way they use their powers is so creative. I love it when each of them discovers their powers. It's just so good. And then, of course, it is hilarious. Obviously, the movie is freaking funny. But you also have like the most heart-shattering moment in any comic book movie, in my opinion, anyway. And that is when fuck, what was her name? Betsy? Not Betsy. That's Better Call Saul. Debbie. That's her name. That's that bitch's name. When after Ben and them save the fire truck and stuff, she looks at him, takes off the ring, leaves it on the floor, and Ben can't pick the ring up. I've brought this up in previous videos. That is the most horrific scene in any comic book movie. I hate it so much because, as funny as the movie is most of the time, that scene just reminds you how bad Ben has it. Everyone else, oh, cool, I can turn invisible, I can fly, I can stretch. He's just, he looks like that. And it is nice that he does find someone in this movie, but still, that scene is horrific. This movie, I did not feel a single emotion apart from excitement. I was excited that it was going to end. So yeah, not the best movie to start watching at 1 in the morning. Because the last like 20 minutes, I was obviously yawning the whole time. Be like, oh my god, please end. Fucking hell. I say that as I'm recording this video, it is about to strike 1 a.m. But anyway, that I think wraps up everything. As far as my just general thoughts on this movie goes. Obviously, after I record this video, I will inevitably think of more things to that I could have complained about. But hey ho, who cares? This movie sucks, guys. This is absolute garbage. This is one of the worst comic book movies of all time. I don't care what you say. I think that this was worse than Morbius. I would rather rewatch Morbius than watch this movie again, because this is just borderline insulting to the Fantastic Four, because it like handles all of them in the worst way possible. Is it as bad as Madam Web though? No. I do think that there's the gap. You know, as far as like bad comic book movies go, there's like four movies, right? There's the best, which is Venom, which is like, yeah, okay, okay, I wouldn't say Venom. Okay, Venom I think is good. There's Venom 2 and 3, which are like so bad that they're good. You know, those movies are so bad that they're good. Then there's Morbius, which is like questionable but has very few moments of, you know, coolness. Then there's this movie, which is just garbage. But then there's Madam Web, which is like an abomination that humanity's created, like the disgrace of humanity. So yeah, that is just my general thoughts on the 2015 movie named Fant4stic. I've already stated how much I hate this movie, so hate is a bit of a strong word, but how much I really dislike it. So yeah, please let me know your guys' thoughts on this movie down in the comment section below. What do you think of the say that again scene? Oh, I gotta go and watch all of these reactions on YouTube of people reacting to that ending. Bloody hell. But yeah, please let me know what you think down in the comment section below. And if you did enjoy this video, then please leave a like, subscribe, and goodbye.